But like I was just sitting there thinking, time is life, is time is life, is time. But basically, time. I was thinking about time just being literally like life to an individual, from an individual perspective. Time is life. It's like
time
because
life.
It's a measurement. At the end of the day, it's just a measuring. It's like a yardstick, but for the distance between events, right?
Yeah, we measure.
So it's the distance of our life's existence. So it's. I was thinking about people who always show up late to things whenever you know they weren't doing anything before. So it's kind of like in a smart person, I guess, or it would be smart to say if I was like trying to get some hardcore job. And like, and it would be competitive. I would plan to get there an hour early, or even earlier, just to anticipate anything that might happen that would slow me, right? Slow you down. So, but then that means I get there, and that's an hour of my time where I could be doing literally anything else, even if it's sitting down and watching TV. That's my life and my existence. That's my time. That's my life that I'm wasting doing nothing, right?
Yeah.
Whenever I might prefer to sit at home and waste it doing nothing. Yeah. So, and then I was just having those thoughts that, like about people being late to things or procrastinating in general, just being like, a lot of it just being the fact that, using up someone's time is using up their life.
Yep. Okay. Yeah.
Because I mean it is. Because like these moments here, this is, at the end of our day, we live so many years, that's the measurement of our life. you know?
Yeah, it is.
And that's the reason like, time travel stuff is entertaining, but there's no other than being able to come to the future, which would only be literally traveling at the speed of light one direction, coming back in just things having occurred. Like that's the one, like getting to the future is the only thing I could see in that way, which is more just your cells, almost like being in stasis, or just you're in a different state to where things are advancing and your body's like maintained in its current state versus actually going back to things that have already occurred, like that. Even in sci-fi and stuff, that's just like I've never been a fan of going back in time. I like when a thing is done in my mind, it's done.
And
when the thing has occurred, it's occurred. Everything's forward moving, right?
Yeah.
Which is like, I mean, that's cool about TENET, like one of my favorites. Like everything's like forward moving. Once something's done, like I can't go back in time to undo it. I can put myself in stasis.
Like they're trying to affect it before it happens.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a whole different thing. But it's just like the whole idea of like entropy and just forward motion, and it's once something has occurred, it's occurred, right?
Yeah.
But like going to the future, it'd be like I can put myself in stasis for 100 years and wake up. And I'll be the same physical age, and then to me, my reality, I'll travel to the future. It's like, I feel like the whole traveling the speed of light isn't the same thing at all, but it's the closest comparison to that being something possible. If we were even able to travel the speed of light, which physically I doubt our bodies would even be able to handle it.
Yeah, no, I don't. And see, like I don't even. I can't even grasp all that concept of traveling like that. And like you said, our bodies being able to handle it, like they definitely wouldn't.
Yeah.
But.
Well, it's just cool when you come across sci-fi that addresses it, at least tries to.
Yeah, exactly.
Like The Expanse did.
Yes, The Expanse. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, The
How
Expanse
they got fucked up by it or whatever.
Like the Epstein guy. How was a discovery happened on an
Yes.
accident and he died because of it? And so they get those injections
or whatever to be able to help
their bodies maintain, to be able to sustain. Okay. Yeah, they get juiced up. And so just time being life being time.
I'm sorry, I was sitting there
keep going,
fucking.
No. Oh no,
I was lost in thought.
Well,
you were
that's
saying
time I do
that
this.
shit.
I'm gonna see if I can not interrupt you at all. So that means there's gonna be.
All right.
You're gonna have to
stop. I'm gonna have to just note.
Unless
I'll
there's a
recognize.
joke I can't help but make, but we're gonna see if I can not do it.
All right.
Because I watch myself and I'm like, that myself.
Shut up. He's like, shut up.
I'm like, dude.
No, so what I wanted to... I was lost in what you were saying and just stuck kind of reading some of the shit you had on the screen. Time is life. So, and you were just saying that about wasting up somebody's life or something, how if you were late for something so is that how you perceive that, or would you be... Do you care about that? Does that bother you or something?
When people are late for things?
Yeah.
Oh, in general?
Yeah.
Punctuality?
Yeah. Well, I was just wondering about that, or because I don't know, do you think in the grand scheme of things, how do you think like what you were just saying. I'm like I said, I'm fucking having trouble to put this together because number one, I'm fucking stoned.
I don't want anything I say to be interpreted as interrupting you. So I see the pauses. I see the pauses, and I feel like I can.
You're like, I just want to jump in.
I don't know if I'm supposed to yet.
No, I mean, feel free. Like,
so punctuality is that important to me? Yeah, it is.
Okay.
I think it says a lot about a person, right?
Yep.
It's a small thing, but it says a lot.
Yeah.
To an extent, you can overread to it, of course, and then of course
you can't take it like you can't make it people who make punctuality like a fetish. That to me is annoying as fuck when somebody's like, you know, oh my party starts at 7 and it's like, and I have to treat it like a job interview, like you said, like one of those really like.
Well, party's different though.
I know, yeah, no, I know. I'm just saying like anything in general or any like.
If I'm going to lunch with my mom or something, right?
Yeah.
And if anything, I've gotten... The older we get, I feel like the more people, myself included, get comfortable being knowingly a little late.
Yeah. Oh,
I've been getting worse and worse, and it's something that bothers me. But it's whenever you're a party of 2 or 3, you know.
Oh, yeah, and somebody's late or something?
Yeah, it's like, or I can be ready, but I can't control someone who might be traveling with me. That if they're ready, and then that's why it's like I'm ready to go. It doesn't matter to me.
No,
no.
Well, and it's like, as you know, it's like, I mean, you know, Chris, like he's all my brother. Like he takes a long time to get ready, and it's like I don't like, and so for me, it's like, and I also though I can't even knock him because it's like I'll fuck around and like take a while too, just because it's like I think in my mind I'm like, oh nah man, I'm ready. What do I need? I need my phone, my wallet, and my keys, man. That's all I need. And then I get up and I'm like starting to leave, and I'm like, man, my hair looks like shit. Man, I got to change my shirt. Dude, and then I'm like, oh shit. And then I start doing all that shit. And then I'm like, oh fuck, man, now I'm really late. And so, you know, but it's like, I was just going to say, like, I know it, like, you know, people waiting on Chris and like maybe you having to like, if you were in a spot where waiting on Chris or something, it's like I can see how. Life? No, I know, but it's like my point is just that it's like for me, I'm just like whatever. I don't really care. And then when people are like, "Where are you?" This and that shit, we'll get there. When we pull up, right when I pull up is when we'll be there.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I just like you said though, for important things though, yeah, that's different. But for me, it's like for most shit, if you tell me, hey, come over at 6, like, you know, we're having people over, I'll probably show up 6:37.
Yeah, a casual gathering is one. That's one thing. But one thing that'll help you cut back on time, which I've done for many years now, just don't ever look in the mirror.
Yeah, dude, you're just like, I'm out.
I seriously, like, it's bad. Sometimes I'm like, I need to, because it's like, I look... Dude, I might be all disheveled. So it's
that's like me for like the past like I mean shit since like Thanksgiving I felt like, and then today I finally like right before I left I was like brushing my teeth and I was like, oh dude, oh shit. I was like, I gotta change my shirt, and like my hair was like all fucking froed out just from like having taken a shower.
Yeah, it's an easy way to cut back on vanity, you know, just be like, you know what?
Yeah, no doubt. But also too like
I don't know. But you can't look like it, so you have to.
I feel like it is though, but for me, it's like 100% cut back on vanity, no doubt.
It's irresponsible not to make yourself presentable.
Yeah, exactly. But I was gonna say you do feel good. There was like something I heard I've heard somebody say like in terms of baseball or like sports stuff like that. But they say you look good, feel good, you play good.
Yeah.
And so it's like if you look good, you look good in life, or it's like if you look good, then you're gonna feel good, which means that it's like how you're gonna interact with people and in your day-to-day life and shit like that. You might, because you're like, damn, I don't know. It's like I went and got a haircut, or I went and got a fucking beard trim, or whatever it is that you may do. Yeah. And it's like,
I guess I just have,
or you did a sauna, and it's like, I don't know.
I guess I've just happened to have confidence high, so I've never never feel like I've needed to with this, whatever it sounds pretty proud, egotistical.
No, it's not. I see what you mean. It's not like it's. I don't see it as coming.
I mean, I'll dress well, and I'll be like, dang, I look really cool. Versus versus showing up and being like, I look cool enough.
Happening in the world that people care about.
How do I feel about them?
Yeah, that like really like have nothing to do with us. Like, you know what I mean?
I mean,
not any specific event. I'm just saying, like, something will happen.
In general,
you know what I mean? Isn't it crazy how like some shit will happen in another country? Nothing specific. Like, anything will happen in another country.
Oh yeah.
And people like freak the fuck out, and then all of a sudden the next day you got like people tying shit to trees and whatnot, like flags to trees in our country for it.
Yeah.
Isn't that wild?
Is that wild? No,
I think it
isn't. I mean, no, it's.
I don't know.
When you have a lot of representatives for that other country that, live here or have relatives living here, it makes sense. When people pretend, or when people like get attached to like something happening on in another part of the world where they really have no personal vested stake,
that's what I mean.
Fake.
That's what I mean. I mean more or less like I mean more or less like the Facebook filters, like whenever something happened in Paris years ago, and it was like people were putting the filter up and stuff, and it's like I was just more or less saying stuff like that. To me, it's just wild. It's like, do we really even know what the fuck happened here in the spot? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't. Right. Yeah, I just know bad stuff's happening so much worse here than people think it's there. Yeah. So that's why I'm thankful, and I just think, man. Oh yeah. Whatever, and even what we know and what we're told, how far you want to read into that, as far as, looking on foreign websites for actual better news accounts of things or not. At the end of the day, I'm just. Have a wife and a kid, I guess I'm trying to be. Oh yeah, but
that's what I'm saying. I don't care.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, control what you can control. That's my thing.
It's an unfortunate thing. It just makes me thankful even more that for America and growing up in the States, people love to complain about things like man.
No, I'm just talking about how it's like
I never.
Yeah, I just mean there's like there'll be so many like things that just innocuous stuff will happen in another country and people freak out, and then it's like, damn.
Yeah.
Why do you even care about that? Like.
Yeah, well, they're getting on like the social media hype train.
Yeah. It's like, why do you even care?
Social networking.
Have you ever gone for a walk? You know what I mean? You ever just gone for a walk?
Like my avatar. My avatar is moving, He might be doing a dance.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, man, go for a walk, man. Like, that's my thing. Like, I don't know. I just say it because it's like, I remember it was like, I saw people, it was like, this lady, I cut her grass. She had this, like, white shit, like toilet paper I thought was tied around her fucking trees. Like 2 trees. And I was like
some kids had.
Yeah, and I was like, what's...
Like, that's mine!
Yeah, and I was like...
Don't touch my toilet!
You got, like... What's the... You got... Did you know you have this on your trees or something? What's that? And she was like, oh, yeah, it's for the nurses. And I was like...
You know what? I should have known that.
Yeah, I was like... The nurses? What the fuck?
I'm an idiot.
I'm like, what's going on with the nurses, man? Like, how do I get
It's like they're not allowed to use the restroom inside.
I had no idea, man. I was like...
No, the nurses come by to help her, and when it's time for them to go...
I was like...
For them to make sinful water, they go make their sinful water. Or their human mud, and they do their evil outside.
That to me, I was just like, what the fuck? Like... What is, like... I don't know, man. Just save that. You don't need to... I don't know. Like, if I'm like a nurse, like, for instance, it's like... Lawn care guys, like, I don't know, I would just find that shit goofy. Like, I cut grass for a living.
No, yeah,
people are tying like green shit around a tree, like a green flag. It's like, what is that? Oh, that's for the lawn care guys. It's like, what the fuck?
But so
I don't know.
It was
that's stupid. It's just a random
toilet
thought.
Paper wrapped around the tree, or just rolls placed in the tree.
No, it was like wrapped around and like tied in like it wasn't even toilet paper. It looked like toilet paper. It was like almost
maybe
like
it's paper towels.
It almost looked like
it's like the tree dwarfed it, so it was like
motherfucker.
Giant,
Let me focus. It was almost like tissue paper. That's what it was.
Incredibly fragile paper outside.
Yes.
I think if the wind blowing
tied around this lady's tree, and I'm like, the fuck is this? And she was like, for the nurses, and I'm just like, man.
And you left it at that. You let the mystery be. You don't know what that even meant.
No, I had no idea. Because I just imagined. I didn't know if I didn't even want to get into it.
She's messing with you.
No, I didn't want to get into it because then later on I see it's like the blue tape around, like a blue ribbon around a tree. It's like, oh, I'm googling that. If after the nurses, when I found out about nurses, I'm googling blue ribbons and it's for police. Oh, and I'm like,
man, we were here.
I don't know, man. I just don't know about all this shit.
It was a potential crime scene.
It's just wild to me, like how. We are like, I don't know, people are just like
trees,
monkey
man.
see monkey do type of shit, where it's like we are like funny little creatures. You see somebody,
we mimic.
Yeah, something happens somewhere. It's like I'm just trying to say I need to open a flag shop or something, because when any random event happens in other country,
T-shirts.
What I was going to say, or like anything that happens in another country,
that easy too.
It's like all of a sudden all these people are showing up like in the neighborhoods like around me, and they're hanging like that country's flag in their yard, and I'm like, that's crazy.
Well, we know where the loyalty stands. That's just a way of built. That's openly having your militia. Recruitment. I'm just like, you automatically know. Okay, well, Frank, Jim, and Betty Boo over there. She's ready to take up arms for the cause.
That's hilarious, dude.
Yeah, man. No, just make t-shirts on the fly. No, I mean, I see trees every day, so I can relate.
Dude, trees are trippy, man.
Dude, I was just telling my wife, I was like, the tree in my front yard is incredibly climbable. Like, if I were a kid, I'd have been all up in it. Like, I told her, I'm going to climb that tree.
We should climb that tree.
Yeah, I mean...
Let's get out there right now.
We could do it real quick.
We go climb a tree.
Yeah.
It's dark, though.
Dude, you scared of the dark?
Well, no. I mean, no.
Hey, I'll be there. The thing is, your height, you can make it a lot... No, I'm not going to cheat, though. That's cheating.
Yeah.
I'm going to climb up there myself, and you...
That fucking little pug out back is scaring the shit out of me on that door, dude.
Yeah.
That little pug sounds huge.
We better check on him, and this will be a natural break.
I don't want to, like, you talking about, like, Ross and Monica break? I know that was, you know what I'm saying? Like, the whole Friends
Ross
thing.
and Monica? You mean Ross and Rachel?
Oh, damn. Yeah, Rachel.
Chandler, Monica, dude, and Chandler too soon. Oh, man.
I said Ross and Monica.
Yeah.
But if Friends was in Alabama?
That was that.
Yeah,
no, I read, they didn't They were trying to, but they didn't end up greenlighting that subplot of the incest.
Dude, I mean, on another note, I love that show. I can't lie. I'm not.
It's because your sister.
Yes, I was gonna say people can be like,
obsessed with that
blah blah blah, whatever. My sister, I would watch every night when we were living together. Me and her would watch that shit religiously.
I
it was
watched
like
it all. Whenever it came out, like whenever it ended, I was privy to it, and I was in high school. I watched it.
It was funny. It had funny
moments. I
moments.
didn't have cable,
it was, and it always came on like
Thursday nights, primetime TV, NBC, dude.
Then too, later on, it came on. UPN 21.
Oh, reruns. Whenever they started syndication. No, I caught it, dude.
Throwback to that. Who remembers UPN 21?
Dude, there's UPN. Remember the WB.
WB.
Welcome to
the WB. Oh, we know. Yeah, man. WB, UPN. And then UPN turned into, what was it, TXA or some bullshit?
Yeah. Once I got out of the house and went to college, I was free of... Because I didn't have cable growing up. My mom, who I didn't live with all the time because my parents were divorced, she had cable, but so I go, or satellite. She's in the country, so whenever I'd go to hers every other weekend and every Tuesday, those like how often I do it, I'd be like, okay, that's where I try and get in as much whatever cable deprived viewing I could get, But so at home it'd just be like, okay, what's over the air that has stuff? So that's where like Star Trek Voyager was on every night at 9. Dude, I watched that every night. I'd go to bed watching Jamie Foxx at 10:30. And then living single, I'd watch Martin. I watched all that stuff.
So when I was a kid, I remember this was still like as I grew up, it was still this way on network TV. Yeah, no, for sure, we are about to do that. But before we break, MASH. That was number one. That like I loved MASH, but that was always my excuse to stay up late. When I was a kid, it would be like I would right before MASH would come on would be like when I would have to get ready for bed. So I'd start getting ready for bed, and then I would fucking like by the time I was ready, I would hear that theme song playing, and my grandmother. I lived with my grandmother, and I would go. I would run out there when I would hear that theme song. And I would like run out to the other room, and I'd sit on. I knew once I got to my grandmother, my mom couldn't do anything. He's gonna watch MASH. Where were you gonna rob me of this?
Yeah.
And so that was all I want. Fucking MASH is. Oh my god.
So first of all,
good for you, man.
You opened up a can of worms on this one because.
Oh, that's fine. Please, I love it.
And it's funny because me and Brandon were talking about this. First of all, that intro song,
"Suicide is Painless."
Yeah. First of all, you're the only person I've met who, as a young person, enjoyed MASH.
Dude.
I feel like that intro song was the key to change the channel. That was a trigger like, okay, we're out of here.
No.
For you, that was stick around.
For when I heard, because it would literally, I could like smell the bedroom at the house.
Like I can know that as a child.
I'm telling you, dude, I would hear because even before that, you'd hear the helicopter.
Dude, in the original version, like with lyrics and stuff, it's literally.
Yes.
And the thing is, the more I think about
I have the song on my phone. I listen to it when I work. It's such a good song.
But to say so, before I started my current job, which is like a year ago, there's like a week or two that between my prior job and I started my new one.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, there's all this critical acclaim and there are all these important things that MASH did as a TV show as far as advancing TV and like narratives and how things are done.
Yes.
So there's a lot of things that were done on that show that hadn't been done before.
Yeah,
and it was actually like a dramedy.
Yeah.
That was the only, like, it did so many things ahead of its time and it did so many things well, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not losing my train of thought. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch I binge watched the entire series in the span of like a month. Like the whole thing. From beginning to end, in order.
Oh my god.
In order.
I need to do that. Now I want to do that.
Yeah, I did it. So it's like, I saw there's like these one-off episodes where like they had like a first-person POV thing going on. Or they had all these things, like there's like unique like direction things and stuff that they did in that show. Outside of the fact that, you know, how it was able to be like have such a social voice on things while still like being a comedy and a drama, and it got more dramatic even towards the end. But the more I think about that song is like, it's almost genius that they were able to pick that song called Suicide's Painless to make it put it on this show that was at the time thought of like as a sitcom-ish, and it's still a unique, one of a kind type show, and it's worth getting through because
it's yet to be replicated. It will never be.
Yeah.
It can never be. I mean, all of the characters to me, like, are incredible. Probably one of my favorite was Klinger. I loved Klinger.
Yeah.
Radar. I loved Radar.
Radar. Yeah,
Radar was hilarious.
Was because after the first two seasons, his buddy left the show, and it ended up being not Huckabee. Hawkeye was always there. He was the mainstay, but his friend. He was only in the first couple seasons.
Oh.
And then it ended up being replayed. He got... Hold on, I'm going to see. MASH cat. Because I'm trying to wonder which MASH you're more familiar with. Because I feel like a lot of people...
So go back. I remember you just had the cast that had him pulled. Okay.
So this...
Yeah, I remember.
He was only in 2 seasons.
That's right. Yeah, he was. Yeah, because then it ended up with... And
that when Huckabee was... Gosh, what was his name?
I remember. That's right. It's funny you brought that up. Sorry.
No.
That's funny you brought that up because I never really realized that. But yeah, he was only on those 2 seasons.
And so at first that was Trapper, right? So his buddy the first season was Trapper, but then ended up being Honeycutt. DJ Honeycutt was his buddy.
That was
the doctor that came over
because he had the little hairline that was pushed back a little bit.
It ended up taking.
Yeah.
But
yeah, he was the old friendly face I remember for the most of it. But whenever you said it, I was like, "Holy shit, you're right. That was the original."
Yeah.
Oh, and dude that always dressed up.
They always dressed up as a woman.
Yes,
to try and get some being crazy Section 19 or something.
Yes, the show was so. Oh my god! All right, we got a break.
Yeah,
because I feel like we need to. Yes.
But Brandon, which I think he's been checking his outfit. It's funny he brought MASH up because me and Brandon were just talking about that.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. All right, Weezebee's back.
Hell yeah.
Hey,
fuck, dude. No, I was just
I
was letting Potato get a few words in here.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, she had a lot to say.
Potato, what did you?
What did you tell them?
What did you tell them?
How did you?
Because I'm worried more about what she might have divulged.
Huh?
Did you tell them what? Did you tell them what we've been doing here?
Oh,
not that.
Does Potato need to come home with me?
She's part.
You need to come home with me? You want to go home with me?
You know,
you want to come home?
Yeah, people.
You want to go home?
People think of fighting dogs, and they have a certain type of dog in mind. They fight all kinds of breeds.
Oh, look at her, dude. She's like an eagle. She's a peagle. She's a pug eagle.
Potato's the perfect.
Look how she's sitting. Thanks. Look at her. Look, it looks like there's a lot on her. Let's just have a moment for her. There you go. Chin up.
Yep.
Chin up. Sit here. Pet the pug.
She's the perfect pug lap dog, man. She really is.
Oh yeah, dude.
I never liked pugs until my wife was
Dude,
like, I really want a pug. And I was like, all right.
I think what did it for me was the Men in Black movie. I loved pugs.
That's funny. Well, you've known about the pug laws that I had whenever...
The what?
Before we got her, because she had these other dogs, I didn't want to... I feel like I dealt with more than she did, and I didn't want... She wanted a pug puppy, and we were in a real small place. I'm like, I want zero responsibility for this, because I thought it was a bad idea to get another dog. And so I made her sign a contract of all these things. I haven't told you about this?
No.
It's actually right there, right behind the First Baptist Academy thing. I laminated this thing. This is before we got her, because I was like, okay, you can get this dog, but these are the conditions. And I made her sign it. I laminated it. Like, I was not joking around. I mean, I guess we could show it to the camera at some point, because they can't read your thoughts.
Right, that's a straight up legal. This is a legal contract.
Yeah, basic. This could be back. What is that? That's not gonna be backward.
Yeah, this is a legal contract that says that she needs to be covering medical expenses.
Like, you're not allowed in my room. You're not allowed to ask me to help you. You're not allowed to do any, like, yeah. And I had her sign this beforehand, and I was like, all right. And then within like 2 months, this dog won me over, and I was just
you
like,
fell in love with the dog.
Yeah, now it's like that's a joke, because I've never loved an animal more than this dog.
Little.
And she stole my heart.
She's a big wrinkly girl. You got big wrinkly?
Yeah, but yeah, that's pugs.
So yeah, we're gonna eat her later. We're gonna cook her. Matt loves it.
Yeah, no. The thing is, the more you love them, it hurts, but you appreciate the flavor more. You're like, you're eating the memories. You know?
Eat them up. Eat them up, boy.
All right. So tell me where next, sir. What's
You know, the whole first half was us just spitballing. We left. I feel like we really had something going there before we climbed that tree.
Yeah, that might have been a mistake. We'll see tomorrow. We'll see how I feel tomorrow. It might have been a bad mistake. Matt
took a little bit of a hit to the knee as he went to propel himself into the tree. He took a little bit of a hit.
It wasn't that bad.
But as he said, though, we'll see tomorrow. It shocked me
a little bit. I was surprised by the pain.
As he said, though, we'll see tomorrow.
Pain is a great teacher.
I was just going to say, but I mean, we just spitball. I was going to say, I had something to get off of to stop talking about MASH.
You want to do that right now?
Huh? No, not necessarily right now. I was just gonna. I mean, it maybe is like a dip the foot into like.
So
I was just gonna.
You don't want to get off right now.
No, I was just gonna say.
You watch MASH to get off?
No. Look, we're not watching MASH.
Not that kind of a podcast.
No.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say we're not gonna go all the way in because I already know you know what I'm gonna say. But the show that that really got, it's funny because I started watching it before you said anything. I watched like maybe before I went to bed one night, maybe 15 minutes of it, not even, and I was like, I don't know about this maybe.
Yeah.
Acting seemed a little shoddy, and then you came over to my house like that weekend, and it somehow came up, but Twin Peaks, and ever since you were like as soon as I said Twin Peaks,
yeah.
I could tell by the way you reacted. That I was like, okay, I missed something.
Yeah.
Because your eyes like lit up and you were like, oh, and Stephanie was like looked at you and she was all like excited
all
too.
Of a
and
sudden
I was
you
like,
look in my eyes and see the universe.
Yeah, and I was just like, oh man, okay. Yeah. And so at that point, I was just gonna say, we're gonna have to do a whole thing about that. But
I believe that it is the greatest TV show of all time.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that you're not.
That's very competitive list, and that can be something where top 5 in genre and not go into explanations and everything
as to why they're better,
but
why it's better.
And it's not until Twin Peaks Returns came out in 2017 where like at the end of it, when it ended in like 90 whatever, which it was literally 25 years ago, like 92. Literally 25 years later, Twin Peaks Returns came back, and at the end of when it ended in 92, she whispers, like they say something about in 25 years, and literally he did it 25 years later. And almost everyone but maybe one character returns, which under normal circumstances you could be like, okay, another reboot, blah blah, but no, like it's like that's intentional. And again,
I know. We can't.
And the
we
reason
can't,
why when it comes back, what he does, and David Lynch is like, because he's like a visual artist. He's more of like he is into painting and stuff. But people see his movies, and as far as looking for a linear, cohesive story, like they rarely get, if at all, because in my mind, you have to look at it more as like he uses film as like a visual medium. It might be have a message, but it's not going to be delivered in a traditional, standard format. It's going to be, just take everything you're seeing in and what it's in. What I don't know. I could go down.
No, I know, and
because it'll get me into his movies, and then it'll get me into.
No, I know. I was just going to say that it really is like one of the things. Like we'll have to stop on that first, and we will have to because I know you'll have. Yeah. But one of the things that really like got me with it was the dude in the dreams, the midget guy, the dwarf guy that was like speaking, and I was like, wait, I like had to rewind. I paused it and I rewound, and I was like
backwards, and then they played it in reverse to be forwards.
Yeah, and it was
the way he did it, so it's like it was awkward looking because they actually
that's why
walked
I was like,
backwards,
I know.
and then. Like the way he did it in reverse.
And when you told because that's why and
yeah.
Whenever you told me that, I was like, that makes sense, because my brain was the first time I'd ever seen anything like that. And so at that point, that's when I was like, fuck me, I see what blind me, I see it. Like
that's just the first little peek inside the red room.
Yeah, and then at that point, but that is it. That's all.
Yeah.
So yeah, if any of y'all already go check it out right now. This is your chance to check it out before Matt.
Yeah.
Just like pretty much.
But even then, I almost be like,
it's
almost like you need to watch. If you watch the Fire Walk with Me movie, which came out afterwards, is basically all the events in the night and everything that led up to where Twin Peaks starts.
Yeah.
So, and it's like an R, like,
and you're right.
You get to really. And it's interesting because it's like an R-rated, very extreme, like dark, but not dark. It's David Lynch movie that leads into a show that he pulled off on network television, which obviously had to follow standards and formats and adhere to things, but
guidelines.
But still, like, it's one of a kind, and it's influenced so many things. If you watch it, and you can and Agent Dale Cooper. He's probably the best TV character of all time. Like.
You're not wrong.
He's just so. It's just like the ultimate like virtuous guy, but still just like incredibly campy and just I don't know. It's just like the extreme good versus evil, like good and then the darkness underneath things that, and it's just it's crazy, man.
No, I know.
Yeah, get me going.
No, I know, but that's it. But no, we'll definitely have to. I don't know. I just like I had that thought after I brought MASH up. To switch gears to another, not to switch gears, but to another show that anybody should go check out. That you put me on, Dark. I love Dark. Dark was such a good, because that's a good one if you like time travel.
If you like a show, you need like in-depth diagrams to keep up with stuff.
That show to me, it was like if you can get through like the first, I'd say the first 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Because by the 3rd episode, they start to kind of tie it together. The first 2 episodes of that show, in my opinion, are more or less like, the first 2 episodes of that show are pretty much just trying to. She's like, I need to be in on this. Both pets. But the first 2 of that are pretty much just introducing you to all the characters and the timeline of what's happening, and then by the 3rd episode, then by the end of the third episode, it's like you're kind of clued in that at that point it really grips you.
Yeah, and you have to be. It is a very
you got to give it a chance.
Methodical, slow plotting,
Yes.
like incredibly serious. Like,
but
the
boy,
tone
is it
of
worth it.
Yeah, and if you're
because by the time you
you
really
have to
get
have
to connect
mind.
it,
You can't go into it for casual viewing. You have to go into
No.
it. I'm paying attention to something that's gonna
turn the lights off, get
Yeah.
your drinks, get
Act
your
like you're in a
popcorn.
theater.
No, seriously, act like you're in a theater and just watch it and like turn your phone off. Like
and,
set
and
it aside
the
because if
soundtrack
you,
is so well done too.
oh, the soundtrack, the beginning theme to that song or to the show is incredible, and the whole like the way they
which is cool, but
overlap
like it's too many shows I've done the whole kaleidoscope looking thing.
That
they
that
did
is
it too,
true.
which sucks because
That
I
is
don't want to
true.
belittle it because
No,
I don't know who did it first.
but
It's
an accurate.
It's been done.
It's an
I'm
accurate
seeing
criticism.
it too many times to where it's
Yeah.
like. But that aside,
Other than that,
it's
yeah.
it's a
It
phenomenal.
really
But it's got
is.
to be one of the best imports, if not.
Yeah, and
not
people,
the best import.
I've told it to plenty of people, and I already know Jeff. He's out there in Crane. Y'all are both going to say something. But I'm telling you, I've been telling everybody about it because I think it's such a great show. But other people, some people's issue with it is the dubbing. The dubbing of the accents. It's a German. They're German actors.
Yeah.
It's dubbed into English,
If-
and
unless
it's
you
not
wanna
that
watch it
bad though.
and
It's
read
not
it.
like
It's not.
I was gonna say it's not like the old the movies like the early Bruce Lee movies or the early Jackie Chan
Dubbing
movies
in
where
general has
it was real
become
bad.
a lot more watchable. I feel
Yes.
like, to where
Like you said, unless you want to read it, it's not bad. They
And
do
the
a
only
decent
reason-
job
oh,
of
yeah.
matching the voice to the person you see.
yeah, and I get the whole wanting to hear things in the native tongue and stuff. Is the only reason I've started to kind of come against that is just you're missing seeing and paying attention to what they're wanting to show you because your eyes are constantly forced to read.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, for me, it's just like the more you watch a show with intention, with starting to not, and it's easier whenever you watch a show the second time, you know what's gonna happen. You can not pay attention to the main part of the screen or where the action's happening. You start to pay attention to everything on the screen, and that's where you can kind of see where they've been maybe either putting, kind of foreshadowing or just getting a better, like, realizing the detail or the amount of, effort that they did in building the story. Whenever you can, like, watch it and pay attention to the whole screen and, like, take in, okay, I know what happens here. Let me look around and see the
forest through the
subtleties.
trees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it takes a second watch through.
That was like, not to kind of give any spoilers, but I mean, or I guess I should say spoiler alert
They all
about TENET. It was funny about how you were saying about being able to view things and really pick up on stuff and noticing. My first time through watching it, when they were going through in like the theater or something and he like brushed against him or something, a guy grabbed him or did something, and then he turned and looked and he saw like something on his backpack, like a keychain or the gadget. I was like, that's going to come up later.
Like,
that's going to be a key
that
point.
That was obviously relevant.
Yes, because it's like,
they went out of their way to show you that, though,
exactly.
Right?
It's like, there's stuff like that. And I said that at the time, and the person I was watching the movie with was like, do what? And I'm like, the keychain on the backpack. I was like, they showed.
It's like, pay attention, dude.
And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, no, I'm like, they just showed it to you, so later on they're gonna bring it up, and it's gonna be like, it's gonna. So like, remember now that guy that they just showed, that you don't know his face, but they showed the gadget or the keychain. It was like, that's gonna come up later, and you're gonna know who that guy in the mask is.
Foreshadowing or some intentionally placed. And I feel like, at least for me, that it came out like at the beginning of COVID, and Christopher Nolan like still demanded that it be released in theaters. So it was like no one was going to theaters at all. Of course, it didn't do as well like financially for that reason. And then I feel like in 20 years, I feel like people are going to realize, at least for me, what a masterpiece that movie is.
Oh, it is a masterpiece.
Like,
you're
it's
not
a master.
wrong.
Like, and I've probably watched it 15 times.
It's a
no joke.
You're
You
not
ask
wrong.
my wife. There was a time where I had it on like every night.
I haven't done it justice.
Because you want to soak in just like all the subtleties, and I don't know. There's
one watching does not do that movie justice.
It's like in the movie, it's like a piece of beautiful, like visual engineering.
It's
visual engineering that's, if you look at the Seder Square and you look up things behind it, like the whole Tenet thing, there's in reality, you look at the Seder Square and like there's like ancient, not relics, but architecture and things where like there's these palindrome of words that have like Tenet across the middle, and then there's like Seder, Arepo, Opera, like they're all palindromes, so forwards and backwards are the same word. Yeah. But these things exist in real life, but those are throughout the movie. Like the name Arepo is one of the characters. Like they're at the opera. There's a Seder. One of the guys is on, like, characters of Seder. So all these things are built into it that are like based on that, and all of them are palindromes, right? So the movie itself is a palindrome. The movie itself like meets in, and then there's like and you have to watch. You don't go into looking for like emotional storytelling. It's like
no,
you got going into it looking for like an engineer design, like, I don't know, man.
To me, it was like the movie Inception on steroids. Like, it was, because Inception, and the reason I say Inception is because they're similar but very different. But it's like, the reason I say that is just because it was that same concept of like, okay, now wait a minute, where are they right now?
Yeah.
Is this before or is this after?
See, and Inception is like, way more accessible too.
Yes,
I was just about to say, for people who think that's confusing.
That's exactly why I said it's Inception on steroids, because Inception was like, at first grasping it was like, wait, hold up, so
dreams within dreams and planning,
and then you realize, and then it's like, okay, and then you start grasping, it's like, all right, cool, and then it's like, I saw Tenet and you kept talking about it, and I had seen the previews, and I'm like, of course, so I watch it, and I'm like, wait a minute, so this is sort of like that, and then I'm like, no, hold on, this is nothing like, and I'm like, well, what the fuck is going on?
It's like, I feel like they need to teach a class in film school on what he's doing.
Like, yeah.
I like, because even at the very beginning, whenever he gets put in the water windmills and stuff, like, that's like the beginning of, So
do you think there'll be, and I'm just saying this because I mean I don't really think so, but like, what do you think on like a second one or thing like that, on sequels in general?
No,
sequels in general. How do you ever?
No. Oh, just how do I feel about them?
Yeah, more or less in general.
Oh, I mean, it's all, to me, dependent obviously on if there was source material that it's based on that has,
there's enough there,
or if it's like based on books,
like Star Wars,
different books, like the Dune books, which for me, before they were remade or did Dune again recently, that was my favorite, and still is my favorite book of all time. Dune. And so like whenever it got remade again by Denis Villeneuve, the director, he's one of my favorite. Like, everything he does is, you're getting quality, kind of like Christopher Nolan. Anything he does, whether you like it or not, you're watching like a high quality, well-made movie that's made the way they want it to be. Because Denis Villeneuve did Blade Runner 2049, which obviously, the first Blade Runner was like a cult sci-fi like masterpiece that didn't get appreciated in its time. It didn't get appreciated so many years later. But he did that. He did The Arrival, which was an incredibly intelligent sci-fi movie. He did Sicario, which is like phenomenal. So just, you see the way he handles tone in scenes and like the cinematography or works with them. To where Dennis, and Enemy. He also did Enemy, which is,
again, that was a movie where I watched with my ex-girlfriend, and she was like, we start watching it, she's like, yeah, that seems cool, let's put it on. I'm like, great. Put the movie on. Like, somewhat like halfway through, she falls asleep. I'm just stuck watching it, and I'm just like, I didn't even know she's asleep. Like, I'm just like in the zone of watching this movie.
Actually paying attention to it.
And then
in the moment,
the movie ends, and the ending happens, and I'm just like,
what?
And I look over, and she's just like,
you're like, what? I need to talk about this.
I have nobody to share this with, and I'm essentially like, it's like I walked outside. It's like, I don't know who to call, because at this time I didn't know, like, me and you hadn't really been talking about movies like this, and I was like,
now so you know, if you're ever in that situation, just text me. I'd be like, dude,
I had no idea who to text or call or anything to be like, could you tell me what the fuck I just watched?
I'd be like, I might not be able to tell you, but I can tell you I share the feeling that you're having.
Yes, and so to switch gears in a sense, like, we're not really switching, it's just going from movies to TV shows.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, this is one thing that I'm still pissed about was a TV show that I fell in love with, and then they just ended it.
Real sex. Oh no.
No, they just ended this shit out of nowhere. It was Mindhunters on Netflix.
Well, you know why?
Absolutely. They said that it was like too expensive and there wasn't enough interest.
And David Fincher was like the main person behind that.
Dude.
I've talked about him before.
I watched his movie, what's it called?
That just came out with The Killer?
No, I watched his other
The Game.
one. The Game. I watched The Game the other night. I loved it. It was a great movie. It was like, whoa.
It is what you, at the end of it is like, that's kind of what I expected, but not really. But
not at all, yeah.
You know, it was one of those movies.
But no, it's like that to me was a TV show that was just like, oh my God, like this is such a good fucking show. And then the way it just ends on like during like the mid case on one of them, and I'm just like, oh my God, I don't need this.
Yeah,
in my
it
fucking
sucks.
life.
No, it's funny
because I go look it up and I'm like looking up and Googling and reading and I'm like, oh, what happened and when's it gonna come back and this and that, and then it's like I'm reading through this shit and it's like not coming back due to lack of interest and how much it cost to film it because of the people that were the cast they had and the cost of like I guess set cars all of that stuff.
Just the production and that's a sad place. There was a period of time in this new age. I think it's the Gilded Age. Maybe perhaps there was like the golden age of TV, which I don't know if that started with Sopranos, and then like that came like with the streaming. Then I don't know if some people have called it the Gilded Age, and so I don't know if we're past what that is, but that the window where they were willing to take chances and throw money at shows ended with COVID probably, or around that time, because that's whenever the OA came out before that, which the OA is one of the greatest shows that if you're in for like sci-fi done in like that 1 week I said Wreck of the Week, A Murder at the End of the World. Okay. Same chick, and the guy, this Zal Batman, that's weird name, are the creators behind that. But the OA is like, it's one of the best shows ever made in my opinion too, and it's unique and bold and so confident in it and it's delivered with such like confidence in self, like integrity that that story is so unique. Like in the way it's like doing sci-fi in a way that it stands on its own little island of like, wow, okay, that's nuts. To be it's almost not like supernatural, but like metaphysical, right? But they do it in a way that's like it's not believable, but at the same time, if you're gonna even think that some other realm is possible to peek into or anything, I don't know. It's really cool.
No,
so
I mean everything literally everything, every movie or TV show you've recommended to me, I've always gone and watched it, and then no matter how weird or odd it might seem at first, and how I'm like, this might not really be my thing, I'm like, no, I stick with it because it's like there's a reason I'm being told to watch it. And then it's like and that's the thing, it's like most people need to understand, it's like when somebody's telling you to watch something or listen to it, it's like just give it a fucking second. For it's like you have to like,
I'm tooting my own horn here, I only like really good things.
Yeah.
I'm joking. No, that's a cocky ass thing. But I go out of my way to like.
It's like you don't
sci-fi heady stuff, but at the same time,
once again, like
I like
the show,
some crime stuff.
We've got what we do in the shadows playing back here. Again, this is another one, for example, that you told me. Whenever you were like, have you ever watched What We Do in the Shadows? And I was like, and then no. I'm like,
there was a movie that was actually based on, which you should actually watch.
You put the show on, I fell in love with the show. And it's like, so yeah, man, everything you've recommended to me, so I don't care really how weird it is.
I'd like to think I have taste I think is the best.
Yeah. I think you do have pretty good taste.
Even though that's
I mean, when it comes to that,
if you're into like, a lot of thought-provoking stuff, but even when the comedy, like, okay, this is my favorite kind of comedy.
And deep-fried mozzarella sticks.
And
you're
deep-fried mozzarella. I appreciate
you got good taste
it.
at
There's
that.
a lot of work goes into that, but we'll definitely have to do.
We got to do
some.
Whoever
shows, because
any of y'all in the comments, please, or something. One of y'all comment.
If anyone makes a comment,
please comment. We're gonna have a party. On that one. Chris Hendren, we're having a party. Thank you, Chris.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, dog. Hope you're doing well.
I think we could be hanging
but we
out
need to have hell yeah. I was gonna say we need to have we have some engagement. Let us know if y'all want us to watch something.
Yeah.
If y'all want us to talk about something, give an opinion, and y'all can remain anonymous too. In a sense, we don't have to be like, hey, somebody asked us. We don't have to put you on blast.
Yeah.
If somebody's like, hey man, I got a rash and it's kind of like spreading and it's itching. Have you had it? Have you had this before?
And
you know what I mean? We can be like,
well,
well,
between the two of us,
anonymous person.
You've had AIDS. I've had the bubonic plague. And we both got better.
Oh well, yeah.
You know. I said, here's my bucket of clean water. Here's my bucket of AIDS water, and you drank the wrong one.
And that was
and then I'm like, why did I get that AIDS water? And I remembered because I was trying to give it to those kids at that park.
I was like that fucking. I was like, okay, back to TV shows. I was on Tubi one night, which I love Tubi.
They've upped their game. They have. I didn't realize they upped the game until you told me that. They've upped their game.
They had a movie on there called The L.A. AIDS Jabber. What the fuck?
The guy who went around giving people AIDS.
Yes, and it was a whole fucking needle full of
gift givers.
Dude.
You know what a gift giver is?
I'm
There's the community,
but
a special community of people, gift givers, people who get.
It's so.
I think they're generally it's probably pretty dated, but homosexuals that would like have AIDS and like give it to other people, and I don't know if like the other people ideally wanted it too, but I'm guessing often they didn't know. But yeah, that's something I picked up off listening to TICKET too much with Gordon. Gordon getting on the gift givers.
The old TICKET.
And then there's the
what a great show.
Oh yeah,
it's a good show.
It's a good station.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Speaking of radio stations, I think I'll fight anybody on this. My favorite radio station, like clockwork, I'll turn it on just to at least, I gotta hear that theme song. Coast to Coast AM at midnight. God, I love that. I love that.
I think I've listened. Chris has told me about an episode or something, but I've never listened to it.
It is by far. I love it because
they take calls, right? Is that one of those?
They take calls, and it's amazing because the gambit it runs.
Yeah.
One night they'll be talking about politics on there, and then the next night they're in there talking to some lady who's claimed that she's had 760 lives, and she's never just been
children.
She's never been a swashbuckler. She's always been Cleopatra.
Oh yeah, they're all
King
amazing,
Arthur. Yeah,
lavish, opulent lives.
And it's hilarious. It's just,
she's never a slave.
No, and the listening is great. They talk about the ghost stories. All kinds of folklore stuff and just like weird things. Like it's and George Norrie, the host, is incredible because of the way he just like entertains it.
Yeah.
He doesn't. He engages. He lets them talk. He asks them a question.
He doesn't make fun or make it a joke. He takes everything seriously.
Well, he doesn't try. He's not trying to debunk anything. He just says the person's like, and then I woke up and there was a 12-foot deer outside my window, and George Norrie said, "Fascinating." And then what happened from there, Doug?
Yeah.
Doug's like, well, at that point, I done ran out back with my shotgun.
He says,
and then that's whenever, and then George goes, fascinating. And now we're gonna go to Dave in Tacoma, Washington,
who saw Bigfoot for like the second time.
And then Dave in Tacoma, well, how you doing, George? Pleasure to talk to you again. And it's fantastic. Yeah. It's 570 Coast to Coast AM.
Yeah, I'm sure you could catch it out, online somehow too. There's something I know that I wanted to touch on just as far as experience sharing. Having a kid.
Yeah.
Just the first month, I guess. In I won't go.
This is 1 month in.
I mean, it's over a month now. She's like 43 days old, I think.
That's true.
Because I'm taking a picture every day of her next to this bear so I can have a time lapse.
That's cool.
I'm going to try and do it till she's 18.
This dude's a great father.
No, that's very sweet.
She can get mad. She's going to be getting next to that fucking bear.
Yeah, no. I've got daily reminders, multiple set back. Okay, you got to get the daily picture. But yeah, it's been.
But yeah, so after 1 month,
a lot of crying and
what
pooping. Is it like? Maybe a week ago, a few days ago, she managed to sleep for 6 hours straight, and that was like a record. It was like yes, but and I work during the week, and my wife is main caretaker, and so she really bears a lot of it. I feel like I don't know if she's had a good night's sleep at all since she's come home, and like during the weekend I'll obviously I'll try and give her the chance to sleep longer, and I'll hang out with her like all throughout the night for a while or to 4 or 5 in the morning, or something. Just because ideally, I guess they control your schedule, so it's like they can say nap when they nap, sleep when they sleep, but then it's like whatever things as a normal adult human you need to try and do, you're trying to do them during those periods of time, and then at nighttime when you normally want to sleep, then you're lucky maybe they'll sleep for 2 or 3 hours, and then you're just have the anxiety of waiting to get up. Like that, hearing that cry, I need to change, they need to eat again.
I was gonna say, man.
And the thing is, Stephanie is like during the week, because she doesn't work and I do.
Yeah.
I need, obviously, financially, I can justify needing to be able to get, but I still feel bad because I don't think she's had a good night's sleep at all since she came home from the hospital, man. Like, I really don't.
A month in, but I mean, they do say that it's supposed to get better.
And that's what it's like.
Soon enough,
it's gonna be over before you know it, and that's what you say. But obviously, when you're in it, and especially when she's in it, and
it's hard to say.
I feel like I'm doing the best I can. Like as far as I'm done working. She'll let me do my daily run, and I try. I'll try and be like, okay, I can take it for a couple hours. I can do this or that, but then it's. That was not,
bro.
That was the dog.
Potato.
Oh my god,
bro, that hit us both at the same.
Dude,
that smelled like burnt fucking popcorn.
Potato. Oh my.
Oh, hey.
Potato. Dude.
Hey,
that is so bad. It's completely silent.
Oh my fucking god.
So bad. Dude, we looked at each other.
That literally smelled like over buttered burnt fucking movie theater popcorn.
Oh my gosh. Goodness.
Oh my god.
Yeah. But no, month in, it's of course it gets better, and that's better, and it's a period of time that's relatively short.
But it's gonna pass. But still,
in the thick of it, it's like
it's got to be. In the thick of it, I'm sure it has to be shit because you've had how many years of not having that, and then all of a sudden, it's like,
and I'd be drinking, I'd be like, well, for what it's worth, you're not having to work right now, so it's like a 3 or 4 month period where you're having to work more than you've ever worked in your life. But not to say that this means I shouldn't. I try and contribute as much as I can. I feel like I could always do more. I even feel bad that she's in the other room right now with her, But it's but she's like, no, I want you to do your thing with your friends and everything, So she's great. Cool. She's great. She's the best mom.
Yeah, she really is.
I married her knowing like I'm somebody who's gonna be a phenomenal mother,
Yeah.
So like that was like a key thing for me, in her personality, and so
she's
so
awesome.
I just my heart, and she's such a warrior, when it comes to her own health. But now, like obviously with the baby, like every little thing, which is great, to be more cautious than not, but I just.
Dude, I can imagine.
I try to do my best to try to help her.
I mean, I was holding your baby the other night, and she would do something. I was like, "Is she good?
Yeah.
Is that okay?" And I was like asking Stephanie. I was like, "Is she breathing?" And Stephanie was like, "No, I know." She's like, "I do this," and I'm like, "So
I know."
That's not even a.
Right now,
it is a personality characteristic.
Yeah.
I'm sure because that's kind of how I am. I'm like, is that motherfucker alive?
Yeah.
This thing good right now? Like, so.
I mean, I don't know if it's luckily, but I'm kind of at the other end, like.
It's a balance.
Spectrum,
it's good because it's a balance. Because she'll be cautious enough to where in the situations where you might be like, whatever. Maybe it is a situation where you need to be a little bit more.
Exactly.
So
but we're not both sitting there freaking out over things.
No, exactly. You can't have too much of one.
Yeah.
That's cool though.
So 1 month in, just a lot of basically they control the schedule. They don't have the ability to have a circadian rhythm yet, like that they aren't until after the first 3 months or the 4th trimester was coined, because I've done a lot of research. It was like where I've been able to there's like keys to soothing in. There's like this Dr. Harvey Karp had these 5 S's where it comes down to basically trying to emulate what the womb was like for them, because really when they come out they're not world ready. Their eyes barely function, like not until 2 or 3 months in are like they able to see somewhat decently, and like they're unable to do anything for themselves, as opposed to like you see in nature, babies are born, they're standing, they're walking, they're able to do all these things. It's like a human comes out, basically when they have to, like totally they'd be useless. Too big, they won't be able to come out if they're stuck in there any longer. And so, but it's like there's like swaddling,
she
swaying.
Just farted again, audibly.
Oh my gosh. Swaddling, swaying, shushing, side stomach, and sucking. Those are the 5 S's. Yeah, those are the 5 S's, right? So it's like at any time if you're trying to soothe them and they've been fed, that their diaper's clean, and being overtired can be its whole thing. If you let them get to the point of being too tired and overstimulated, you have to bring them down a level, and then from that level try and get them to go to sleep. So it's just like, okay, on my end I'm trying to just like figure out the formula, figure out where a formula might exist to where, okay, what's the easiest way to manage this. So if I have her, like Stephanie's maybe left like once or twice to do something for a couple hours. Like there's been once since we've had her that I think she was gone for maybe 2 or 3 hours to do something, and I had her. And so I was like, okay, well if you're crying, you're good. I'm gonna swaddle you. I'm gonna sway you. I'm gonna white noise for the shushing, and then the movement. And generally, if all things are okay and they're not hungry, everything, those things will work.
I'll get the plug.
Oh yeah, you can. If you get a blue in, but yeah, generally those 5 S's. Oh yeah, I always forget that I'll leave them in. Go out there.
Oh. Should I get her?
Lily? Yeah.
I got her.
Sorry. Yeah, the pugs just got away on us. But yeah, I won't ramble on much more about the kids other than if you're dealing with it, for the 5 S's, look them up. Dr. Harvey Karp. These three they've definitely been beneficial in figuring out ways to soothe the baby. That you try one, you start mix them together, and at the end of the day you put all 5 together if you're desperate, and hopefully that'll get a calming response, because the way they get startled, the startle reflex, there's a legitimate calming reflex, so you can trigger them to be calm in some of these ways, but at the same time, like, there's a startle reflex. So if you ever like see a baby screaming bloody murder, and then you do something and they're calm all of a sudden, it's because literally there's a calming reflex you can trigger. Like it's like,
and I feel like
in one thing, laying them on their back can, if they freak out, triggers this, I think it's a Moro reflex, where it's them thinking that they're falling. And so sometimes depending, a lot of crazy stuff.
That happens to me when I'm dreaming. I was just gonna say, so while all of that I think is like about, you were saying about the 5 S's, that's really cool, but like I was just wondering, have you ever like just tried just talking to the baby sternly and saying, hey, look, we gotta sleep.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? We have to go to sleep. You need to just
tried multiple languages, saying, "Be quiet, please." And I've made up a few languages.
I just didn't know if you had ever said, "Hey, look, kid,
shut up."
it's time.
You can ask Stephanie.
It's time to go.
I have gotten in her face and gone so loud. Stephanie's in there. I swear to you, one time I did that and she went.
I was gonna say, I'm like,
I hope I didn't damage hers. But the thing is, earlier today, Stephanie was wanting to vacuum. I'm like, honestly, it's a white noise.
Yeah, white noise. Yeah,
and it can be louder than you think. That's another thing I read. So if they're crying really loud, and you know that's not any other issue, you want the white noise to be like a decibel or whatever to louder than the crying, so that overtakes it, and so that's important too. So if you're trying to use these things. But yeah, I've gone down deep wormholes.
Man, that's
I try and learn when she's
cool,
like dealing with managing him more. So and then I try and share the knowledge without telling her what. But then I try and share it without like saying this is how it needs to be done, because at the end of the day, every baby is a little different, and you know your baby better than anybody. Just because that's
your kid.
It's your kid, and you're with them, and you see every response they make to everything you do. And my wife has a lot more of those moments, so she's getting to know her better in that level, as far as burping versus not burping versus how often do I burp versus people who say obviously you can never burp a baby and they'll be fine, which is true, because But at the same time, you can never do that, and they'll probably just be way more fussy all the time because they have gas, you know. And so there's the first month.
See, I was gonna say like I'm good. Like
there's the first
I don't
month.
need to have a child. I've gotten all my experience from.
Yeah, there's the first month, so
from
we haven't
you.
even gotten to child-proofing everything, and then once they're able to get on sleep cycles, I guess there's some periods where they supposedly regress, and then they are able to do it again, and then, I don't know. But I do have my own methods that I try and employ, which they can kind of bother sometimes. I'm like, okay, I'll talk to the baby like a person, because I want them to learn English, but at the same time, if I'm thanking the baby's making sounds and moving things, and sees just...
She eat it?
The dog get the diaper?
I don't know where she got it from, unless you forgot
Potato.
that was in here.
These dogs are
Was
nasty.
it a used diaper?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it wouldn't be an unused one. We could leave those all over the floor. No, she wants that chocolate. Yeah. She wants that baby chocolate, and I'll tell you what, man.
That man said... I had something I was going to say.
I'm wondering what you were doing down here.
Yeah.
And then I looked over, I saw Stephanie on the couch cam, and I looked over.
She just
and I
ripped
was like,
one in the middle of her thing,
Oh,
and me
she's-
and Caleb
yeah.
both stopped and were like, "Oh!"
And Caleb wasn't even here.
Damn.
And Caleb wasn't
That's
even
offensive.
here.
That's
That is
offensive.
No, it's not. That's my
me and
brother's
Chris.
name. It's my brother's name.
I know.
So
I'm
used to
sorry.
it.
You probably
No,
won't go
I was
now.
gonna say something. You were talking about babies.
Sorry, yeah, and I'll get off on a tangent. So
Shushing
there's the first month. It's just the shushing, the white noise.
Yeah.
The swaying.
Talking
is,
too sternly.
Yeah, and the thing is,
Oh, I was gonna say, you were talking about white noise and stuff like that when she's crying. You ever thought about just putting on MASH for the kid? You think the kid maybe wants to watch MASH?
I don't want to kill her, but
No,
you
I'm
know,
just saying. Maybe the kid wants to watch MASH. Maybe the kid wants to watch Twin Peaks.
dude.
Maybe
I
you should
have
go ahead and
I put on different music. You know, there's certain
get
I've
her
made a
on some Twin
playlist
Peaks.
where I put on some different things, some electronic music. I think she likes. You know, I don't know. You just at the end of the day, who knows?
Yeah.
Just get through it, power through. That's
I mean,
what
as
they,
long
at
as
the
you're
end
there,
of it all.
as long as you're trying to feed the kid, you're changing them,
our
you're rocking
main
them.
job is making sure they
You know
don't
what I mean?
kill themselves somehow.
Exactly. You
That
know?
they don't somehow
Pick that little baby up and hold it.
Yeah, you know, shake them around a bit.
Oh, rock them, baby.
No,
I don't know
I
about
know.
shake 'em.
I know. You don't shake. It's not shake weight. It's not a shake baby. Yeah, you can rock the hell out of them, but you can't shake them. It's because the brain jiggle. We don't
Does
want
it?
that.
Oh man.
Yeah, their skull's still a bloody mess.
That's what happened to me.
Yeah, you got shook a bit.
A couple of times.
But that's all right. So yeah, that's the first month. It's a lot of learning, a lot of suffering for my wife, and just all your prayers are appreciated. No, but the baby's doing great though.
No, she really is.
Literally
really
the
is
best
doing
thing
great.
I've ever made and been a part of, and yeah, I'm already fearing being the overprotective dad, because, I mean, everyone thinks a kid is beautiful and gorgeous, but I think she's gonna be
The prettiest little girl.
the prettiest little girl in the world that I'm gonna have in a freaking castle up in a tower.
Yeah.
Just like,
You're gonna be like, no, nobody can come around my daughter.
yeah. So, but yeah, so that's
First month
that's
of
being
being
a
a
dad,
dad.
yep.
That's crazy.
Welcome to hell.
So now you go. I mean, hey, well, you know what's funny is that little baby is gonna be, before we know it, she's gonna be all grown up and she'll be able to watch this episode whenever
Yeah,
little
she'll
Pug
get
came
to
in
know.
and ate her chocolate poo diaper.
The funny thing is when they have a blowout, which is literally what you think it is. It's like really messy.
Yeah.
And I like to think it's maybe because you're moving them around more. Like, we haven't taken them many places yet, obviously,
Yeah.
because I didn't want to expose her to a lot. But like, we had Thanksgiving, and of course she has a blowout at her aunt's house, and as we're changing her, has another one like on her aunt's bed, and gets on her bed. And a couple days ago, she goes to the doctor, has a blowout up the front, and literally gets on like her grandma. And I was like, of course, it's quite a thing.
I'm good on that.
Blowout. Blow that ass out.
And on that one,
That's good. It's enough on the babies. You know what I'm saying?
we're out. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. Yeah. So
But
Yeah, I'll check in once a month. Just be like, okay.
Yeah, no, we definitely need to. We need to.
I'm sure there's other people out there who.
We need to check in on the baby front, on what's going on with the baby.
Yeah,
and also, cool. We're tracking. This whole little deal here is more or less just to have fun and BS and get together and talk.
Time capsule.
Yeah, exactly. Time capsule of just sitting here bullshitting, and maybe who knows, we'll find a little groove here eventually or whatnot and do some stuff. Maybe
we'll definitely get some friends
on. This could be our groove. Exactly. We need more friends on. We need friends to engage. Shit like that.
Yeah, that's what I was talking to Brandon. I'm like, dude, come over. We'll have you sitting here.
Yeah,
Let's
man.
talk about some games. Let's talk about whatever you want. Dude's got so much to say about games, video game music.
Yeah,
like art, dude. So and so many friends with other things to say. Like
exactly, man. And that's the thing. You don't have to feel like. I think that's the thing too. Like, don't feel like you have to have had stories or places or things you did or whatever to think that that's what you need to be able to talk to people or say stuff. It's like, you're a fucking regular dude. Okay, cool. I don't have, like I said, I own a lawn care company and I cut grass for a living. I haven't necessarily done anything incredible or crazy and wild. It's like, I don't have any crazy fucking outlandish stories. It's like, but I'm just a regular dude. And it's like, more regular fucking dudes want to engage and, drop a line, whatnot, and let us know what you think.
Just don't drop a dime.
You drop a dime, man.
We ain't trying to.
Hey, you do your own time.
Trying to rat, you know what I'm saying, bro?
You do your own time. You be dropping no fucking dimes.
Yeah.
Is that your recommendation for the week? Don't drop a dime?
Well, actually, we didn't even do last week, which was bad on us,
We didn't. That's crazy.
It is. Recommendation of the week, well, if you have a baby, the 5 S's, look them up. If they're still dealing with trying to see the baby.
Shushing, soothing, swaying, slapping. Oh.
Smothering.
No.
No, good they remember those. I think if I would rank them, I think swaddling, which they might, but wrapping them up, because a lot of it, their motor function, they're not controlling their arms like you think they are. They're hitting themselves on accident.
Scratching themselves.
So I think it's like swaddling, shushing, swaying, side stomach, and then sucking. I think that's the order. If not, either way, those are them. Yeah, side stomach mean just putting them in a position where they're on the side, not flat on the back, but obviously only if you're monitoring them the whole time.
Like this? Forward it.
Exactly. But never leave them alone on their side stomach, because then of course they could asphyxiate somehow. So you want to be in a state where you're observing them, but it would just be a way to try and calm them down.
Where you're watching them.
Yeah, exactly. In it. Yeah, toss them around, put them in the dishwasher, put them in the dryer. They love the sound of dryers, so I'm like...
White noise.
Yeah, white noise.
And a womb. It's an encapsulated...
White noise? Yeah. Pick your favorite Republican and have audio tapes of them talking,
Ted Cruz or something.
Yeah, it's some white noise. I guess.
Oh, white noise.
Yeah,
I see what you...
They can be Democrats. Pick any politician.
I see what he's saying.
Or any
nice.
president of any time.
That was
nice. Because they will be a white man. But so that's about it. So what's your...
That's it. Oh, recommendation of the week, expectations. Manage them. Don't get your hopes up on shit. That's pretty much it. I think expectations. Don't
great ones.
No, don't have just manage your expectations.
Great expectations don't
you
have.
You should have just don't expect too much out of something, whatnot, because that's when you're going to get disappointed. I thought somebody was going to do X and they didn't, and now you feel like this.
Well, so what did they do instead? Ketamine or?
Yeah, exactly. I thought they were going to do X, and instead I
get
there
and X,
and y'all are doing some other shit, and it's like, and I wasn't with that.
Like 2CB,
you told me X.
Man.
It's like you said, be here at this time. I got there on time, but y'all were doing something different. I wasn't with it.
Yep, they were rolling, you were strolling. So
yeah, exactly.
But whatever we just
go out there and see, check on this baby, dude.
Yeah. Let's
take that baby out the dryer.
Let's have a baby. Make sure the baby's dry.
Yep. All right, I'm out.
It's been a pleasure.
See you guys.
Yeah. Actually, I'm actually just gonna come right back here.